Woohoo! I enjoy nothing better than working out a few intervals over a cup of tea, so that is exactly what we're going to do in question 5. Write down the names of the following intervals, include both the interval's number, second, third, fourth, etc., and type, major, minor, perfect, augmented, or diminished. Cool, so let's see what we can do with this lot. Now we're going to have to take into account the key signatures, that's going to be very important, and we're also going to just be careful of any sort of accidentals that we see against some of the notes, and that will hopefully give us exactly the information we need to know to work out what these intervals are called. So the first one is actually dead easy because we've got a D in the bottom and an A at the top, and this is a treble clef and we've got a key signature there, but that key signature doesn't really affect us here because we're not using those notes. That's fine. So if we do the counting up from the bottom to the top thing that we do, we can work out the size of this interval. So D, E, F, G, A is 5 steps, so this is some kind of fifth. And then we ask ourselves the question, is there an A in the scale of D major? And the answer is yes, there is. And that makes this interval a perfect fifth, not a major fifth. So we don't have major and minor fifths and fourths, just perfect fifths and fourths. And so because that is the A that we would expect as the fifth above a normal fifth in the major or minor scale, that would be the fifth note of D major or D minor, then that's what makes it that size interval of perfect fifth. Okay, moving on to this next one. This one looks quite friendly as well. We've got a G here and we've got an A here. So very easy to work out the size of the interval because of course it's just 2 notes counting the bottom and the top, no space in between them at all. So this is going to be some kind of second. And the next question we ask ourselves, is there an A as the second note of G major? Yes, there is. So it's a major second. Okay, very easy so far. We've now got an A and an F. Counting up from the bottom and counting the bottom one and the top one, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is some kind of sixth. And we ask ourselves the question, is there an F in the scale of A major? And the answer is no. There would normally be an F sharp if it was going to be the major sixth interval. So because it's 1 semitone smaller, it shrinks from a major sixth to a minor sixth. And that's what's going on here. Minor sixth. Going well so far. In this question, we've got an E flat. This is where we've got to be careful of key signatures, because there's an E flat in the key signature and a D flat, because again there's a D flat in the key signature. So if we count our way up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there are 7 notes including the top and the bottom, so this is some kind of seventh. And as we ask ourselves the question, is there a D flat as the 7th note of the scale of E flat major? And the answer is no, it would normally be a D natural. So as a result of that, we know that it's going to be a slightly smaller interval, not a major 7th, but a minor 7th. So all good so far. Now in this question, we've got a lot of sharps in the key signature, so we need to be careful that we make the most of those and make sure we count those in. So for example, this note here is a C sharp, and this top note, well, it would normally be a G flat because there is a G in the key signature, but because it's been naturalized here, we're using just a normal regular G. And so once again, we do our counting up from the bottom, C, D, E, F, G, so that's some kind of fifth. Now we have to find out, is it going to be a diminished fifth, a perfect fifth, or an augmented fifth? And the way we work that out is we ask the question, is there a G natural in the scale of C sharp major? And the answer is no. There is no G natural. It would normally be a G sharp, and in fact it's indicated by this key signature. So because it's a G natural and not a G sharp, it's 1 semitone lower than where it would be to be a perfect fifth. And when we shrink a perfect fifth by 1 semitone, we get the diminished fifth. And there we go. So because we made that perfect fifth smaller by 1 semitone, turning that sharp into a natural, that's why we've got this diminished fifth interval. It's a very recognizable interval when you hear it, but maybe not so much when it's written on paper. So it's really important to just think very carefully what type of fifth we're dealing with. That's the end of intervals. Almost at the end, we've got some chords to look at in question 6, so I will see you then.